first, I've said it during the course of the week, but thank you to everybody involved with this entire setup. The Orange Bowl committee, South Florida, the hospitality has been second to none. This has been a special game for me in my past, and have always been treated the right way here. And a fantastic week for our staff and for our players. Great experiences for them, and obviously it culminates tonight with a great win for us. Thank you to Vol Nation for showing up and the way that they did. Fun to see them flying from all across the country and coming and help us go compete tonight. I appreciate everything that they've done, not just tonight, but on our entire journey this season. It was awesome, fun to see so many VFLs, former players, show up throughout the course of the week. 4 days prior to game day, they already started showing up in droves out at practice. Around the hotel. It was great to get an opportunity to connect with you guys. You guys have built an unbelievable legacy here, and it's something that we're continuing to strive to go chase and embrace every single day. So thank you for the legacy that you've left. All season long, we've talked about learning how to compete and finish at the end. This month, the message was really consistent with that as well. It was about finishing our season, finishing this legacy for the guys that have been here the last 2 years or whenever they came in. I'm not sure a group has done more in a shorter amount of time to help revive a prominent program the way that this group has. So proud of the players and the staff, the connection that we have, being accountable to one another, loving to compete, and doing it together every single day. Tonight was a lot of fun. Unbelievable defensive performance. Special teams were rock solid, and Joe and offensively found a way to make a bunch of big plays and get the ball to the end zone. Great night for Tennessee. The best is yet to come, but really excited about what happened tonight.
All right, we're going to open it up to questions. Again, our etiquette for questions is please raise your hand. A microphone will be brought to you. Please, we'll begin down front.
Glenn Sattel with Saturday Down South. Coach, what do you say to people who insist still that bowl games don't matter? And what was the significance of the win tonight?
Man, bowl games matter. You watch them every single day. You can see the energy, effort, and strain, the excitement, the disappointment on the other side. They matter, and it doesn't mean that everybody has everybody for the ball game. That's just the nature of where we're at during the course of bowl season. But it matters for everybody that shows up. It matters to the head coaches, the assistants. It matters to the fans. It matters to the players. These guys are prideful. Clemson's prideful. When you line up and compete, man, you're going to compete with everything that you got. And these are rare opportunities. I just, 21 years ago, whatever it was, I got an opportunity to play here inside of this stadium, and the memories that I have from that. I don't talk about my playing days a lot with these guys. I'm old enough that some of them weren't even alive. But I think they bought into that these moments matter, and it's something that they will remember for the rest of their lives. Yeah, it continues to put our brand, the style of football, and it's a legacy moment for the guys that are here that are graduating, but it's a springboard for us moving forward. Again, our brand is out in front of everybody. I think we've beaten 3 out of the last 4 national champions during the course of this season. 11-win season, which hasn't been done since 2001. There's so many positive things, so much momentum inside of our program that the entire country, our players, our fan base, recruits, can see the trajectory of where Tennessee is and where it's going. And tonight's a big night.
Joe, I got 2 questions. First one for Joe, Austin Price, Fall Quest. You're just such a cool, calm guy, and it doesn't ever seem like anything rattles you. Tonight, you kind of had it all on display. You had the touch ball to Ramel late, and then a couple of seeds that you threw for some scores. What were the emotions like for you when you're making those passes?
Pretty much got to stay calm. That play is going to happen. When it happens, it's going to happen. So when you come to the sideline, you just pretty much got to, stay equal-headed. The next play got to happen. You have to move on to the next play. The last play, you can't go back and change it after it's done. So after those couple footballs that was thrown down the field, I was pretty much just humble, you know, as I always am, and just pretty much just, I mean, I smile a couple times, but it's fine.
And then, Aaron, for you, big game tonight, had a couple sacks in the first half, several tackles for loss. Talk about your kind of growth as a player as you continue to hone your craft at linebacker.
Yeah, just buying into the coaches, listening to the coaches. You know what I'm saying, loving on the teammates. My teammates pushed me, bro. I couldn't do it, you know, without my D-line and my back end. So, you know, man, just shouts out to them, shouts out to the coaches. You know, they keep me going.
This question is for Joe Milton. Joe, you coming from Pahokee, Florida, representing South Florida here tonight at the Orange Bowl and being the MVP. How does it feel doing it right in your own backyard?
It feels great. I pretty much been talking about it for the whole month, ever since we figured out that we was coming down here. It was a statement game for Tennessee as a team, and also a statement game for me for playing home.
Adam Sparks, Knox News. For Josh, right here in front. Joe was sort of filling in for Hendon, Squirrel for Jalen. To some extent, Aaron was making plays maybe that Jeremy would make during the year. You have three guys here that all step forward. What's the philosophy that you have that where you can plug and play and still stay at this elite level?
Next man up. You can phrase it however you want to. That's not coach speak. We talk about it. We live it every day. We talk about competing the right way and preparing for your opportunity. You don't know when it's coming. You got young guys that continue to get better. I think the fact that our guys love being in the building, they love learning and growing, they enjoy who they're doing it with, allows us to continue to take strides individually and then collectively as a football team. And man, like where we started and where we are now in that way is so different. And we got good young players. We're losing some really good veteran guys, obviously, but the future is freaky bright for Tennessee football.
George from The Athletic. Actually, for Josh and Joe. Joe, it looked like you were looking for Hendon there on the stage, and then he gets up there and kind of shares that moment with you. I know some of this process, he's been Zooming in meetings. Joey was just talking in the locker room how you guys did the call sheet together. What's this been like, this leading into this bowl game, sharing this with him, and then again for both of you on just kind of his presence still as part of this team even while he's been hurt?
You got it, because I kind of checked out. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was to you.
Okay.
You're going to have to repeat the question.
Nah, you good, you good. For me, me and Hendon lived together for this whole semester of school. So, just watching film together every day, just enjoy these moments that we have. Any play can be your last. So we pretty much just, every time we go home, pretty much just talk the game plan out. And after we talk it out, he'll come back to my room probably at like 1 o'clock and saying something like, "Oh, I don't really like that read, JoJo. How you feel about it?" And, we'll talk about it. I don't matter what time it is. I mean, we'll get up in the morning for meetings. So,
You guys said you're in bed at 10:30 every night, man. What are you talking about?
we got to get that work.
Okay.
Those right there pay off. But, other than that, man, it just felt special, having him up there. He put in a lot of work for this. I mean, if you want to be truthful, he got us here. So I had to get it done for him.
Josh, Vince Farrar, 99.1 The Sports Animal. Can you talk about why your defense was so effective tonight and what some of the game plan was that you executed?
Man, obviously there was a ton of pressure, multiple in our fronts. Thought we did a good job against the run game. End of the first half, got a little bit tired. They hit some on us, a little bit in the third quarter. But multiple coverages on the back end, and we played better gap integrity. We tackled better in space, and we were better in our coverage. Not perfect. Obviously, the PIs were disappointing on our part, but continued to fight and compete. And great red zone defense, situational football tonight. You got to get points when you're in the red zone. You need to get sevens, and defensively, we found a way to tighten up when they are on the plus side of the 50 and holding the field goals. They didn't make many of their attempts, and found a way to get off the field. Created turnovers, too.
Samantha Casano with Local 3 in Chattanooga. This one is for Coach Heupel. Kind of going off of that, the Tigers were held without a touchdown for just the second time this season in the first half. Obviously, a lot has been made about Clemson's top-notch defense. Do you think people kind of counted you guys out in that way?
I think our defensive players continue to grow. We had guys that were playing in the middle part of our defense, more reps than they had been during the course of the season. It's a prideful group. We continue to get better. There's some youth back there. The fact that we had more health in the secondary with more opportunities to practice allowed those guys to go out and play in a better way. Throughout the course of the season, training camp last spring, those guys they missed a lot of opportunities to improve and thought they got better during the course of this last month after the end of the regular season.
Reese Van Hatten, WATE TV in Knoxville. Squirrel, I'm not going to let you get off easy on this one. When you found out Jalen and Cedric weren't going to be playing in this game, how did you embrace stepping up and taking on a larger role?
I just went I went to Brew, Ramel, and just stayed in the building extra and just worked on my game and stuff, extra film, and I knew I had to step up and stuff.
Wes Lemon, WorldWideWest.com. Squirrel, back to back for you here. Overall, just to touch upon that, can you just talk about the receiving core, just the talent of it overall, and in your opinion, what stands out to the receiving core of this team?
I feel like we're the best. All of us come to work every day and we just ball out and stuff.
Have a question here.
Hey, Josh, on the field afterwards, I heard you say the best is yet to come. That seems to be a mentality you've had throughout your tenure here. How often do you preach that to the guys in the room, and where do you think that comes from for you?
Well, I know that, where we started, where we've gotten to, but there's so much left out there for us. And, that's in individual habits. It's, us continuing to improve it in communication as coaches, refining what we're doing inside of our building as we continue to develop depth inside of our program, recruit. One of the great lessons, I said this to the football team after the game tonight, is 2 years ago there was so much outside noise that wasn't necessarily positive, and none of those guys paid attention to it. They decided collectively and individually to go accomplish something, and they worked for it. And if you set your mind to something and you work, you really can go about accomplish anything. And that's a great lesson for this football program, but it's a great lesson for these guys as they move into life. And as we continue to move forward, everybody inside that locker room understands there's a whole lot left out there for us that we can improve upon, that we control, that can help us continue to climb as a program.
All right, Josh, I'll throw it back at you. The previous question is Hendon Hooker, and just zooming in for meetings as he's out, he has his knee looked at, and just being a presence here. What does that mean, and what has just he meant in the last 2 years?
Well, the fact that he's committed to this program and to his teammates, to Joe in some ways, that he wants to be a part of this experience, that he wants to finish his legacy here the right way. I think it speaks to everything of who he is. And this program has climbed, and this is not taken away from anybody else inside of the building, me included. All right, this doesn't happen without Hendon. And I say that meaning that, and these guys would say it too, like he's special. As you build a program, you got to have somebody that's selling your message from inside, that lives that message every day and gets the locker room headed in the right direction. And Hendon wasn't the only guy that did that, but he certainly was spearheading it. And there were a lot of guys that started moving us in the right direction from the inside out.
Josh Austin with VolQuest, when you describe it as freaky bright a few minutes ago, what does that look like to you? I mean, you had those freshmen, whether it be Squirrel or Josh Josephs, Elijah Herring, play a lot more reps and snaps tonight. And then, of course, you had all these newcomers come in here. So what's that future look like in your mind?
Yeah, playing electric football on the offensive side of the football field, scoring a bunch of points defensively, being aggressive, fearless, ferocious, and being the best defense in the country, and having that same mentality on special teams. Like, we're just getting started in what we're developing here, and I love coming to work with these guys every single day. As we continue to recruit, man, our brand is in front of everybody again on a national stage. It was a primetime game, and they got a chance to see who we are, how we play, how we compete together, the connection, the energy. And, man, I think someone wants to play an exciting brand of football and have more fun than they can imagine. Man, it's a great place to come compete on Rocky Top and an unbelievable fan base.
Noah Taylor, Bravos.com. Squirrel, this is for you. I talked to Joe the other day. He said that you guys kind of developed a relationship when you first arrived, and he just really trusts throwing it to you down there. I mean, how much has he kind of helped in your development over the last year?
Yeah, when I first got here, like, I was rolling with the twos and stuff, and, like, Joe would be my quarterback, and, he was just, like, hit me and stuff, and strive and stuff, and we just found, like, a
Was the
connection.
ball coming hard, Squirrel?
Yeah, it was, actually. Knocked you off your feet? Yeah, actually knocked me off my feet, for real. But, yeah.
Wes Rucker with 24/7. Question for Aaron. What was different defensively for y'all until Clemson got to scoring range, and once Clemson got to scoring range? It just looked like two different defenses in some ways.
Saying like when they got in the red zone and stuff. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like we just play better when the pressure's on and they about to score. We don't want them to score. So I feel like that played a part in our schemes and stuff like that. So yeah.
Squirrel, back to you again. Kind of a funny one. WATE, Reese Van Hampton. But have you realized how much back here? Sorry. Have you realized that your name is buzzing on social media because your name is Squirrel?
Yeah.
You looked it up already?
Nah.
Oh, you should Google or Twitter search your name.
That's hard. Your name trending?
Down front.
Joe, you said that this was a statement game for you. What kind of statement do you feel like you made?
The Vols back on top. Yes, sir.
It's a good statement.
Josh, what do the next few weeks look like for you? Obviously, after the season's over, a lot of changes. You got hires to do, rosters, who's coming back, all that kind of stuff. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I was going to try to enjoy this one. Thanks for ruining it.
You still can.
Really? Jeez. I'm going to enjoy a couple days with my family while I push forward on some of the problems that are the issues that you already talked about. We got recruiting 4th through the 8th, and we'll move forward on staff and all of those things here as the beginning of January unfolds.
Brian Armstrong, News 12 Chattanooga. You said, this is for Josh, you said that getting back in the rhythm of calling plays wasn't going to be an issue. Was it?
Now, first of all, we got a great staff. Joey Halsley does a fantastic job. Glenn Ellerby does a fantastic job. Those guys have been with us forever. Tonight, we probably weren't great balance early on, but some of that was what they were doing on the defense side of the football. So.
Do we have any other questions? We have one in the front.
This question is for Coach Josh Heupel. Let's talk about some of the greatest memories that you have from this season, because there are a lot of them.
Yeah, you think back about this season with this group of guys, finishing it the way that we did here will certainly be a great memory. Some of the huge wins during the course of the season, inside of Neyland Stadium, Alabama, Florida. As much as anything, though, you really do remember just the daily interaction and the journey that you're on with these guys every single day in the meeting rooms, out on the practice field, eating dinner with these guys. The further I talk to them a lot about it, and I say that because of my playing days, Rand. When I look back on those days, like, it's not just the playing that you remember. A lot of it's just the small interaction, the moments that you get a chance to hang out with your brothers. And it's been a really special journey here with these guys this year.
Well, that's going to conclude our press conference. We want to thank Coach Heupel and our student athletes, Aaron, Squirrel, and Joe for joining us. Thank you for representing the Southeastern Conference and Tennessee University.